And we are live for our first podcast. I feel like the people on Facebook sitting in their garage making up a social media site right now because I'm in my bedroom. So.
This is how Apple got started right here.
Exactly.
Yep.
So we're going to be in Chicago or someplace like that podcasting. And our wives are going to be housewives and going on vacations together because we make all the money.
Yeah. Who's going to be Jobs and who's going to be Wozniak?
I don't know. So
it could be me.
Oh, David, come on now.
We may
All right,
make a contract right now. Don't screw each other over.
Exactly.
Nah.
This is like the Impractical Jokers. You know, you have to do the punishment or you quit the show. David, have you ever seen that show?
Yes, I love that show.
I do too. All right, so you three know a secret that can't really come out and say, but leading into that, Xbox and PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think about the battle so far?
Well, I gotta hand it to PlayStation. I mean, and I'm not saying that just because I'm a PlayStation fan and that's what I grew up playing, but like, obviously, there has been more want and more call for PlayStation this year. You know, like
I can agree.
And I think, and no, maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to wait till it comes out until we get it. But you know, PlayStation, they seem to put a lot more time and effort into their consoles than Xbox does. Xbox, they release one every couple years, a new one every couple years.
Oh no, they're are you talking about like the new generation ones?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got like the Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox One S. You know? What I mean?
Well, the Xbox One, the original one, it came out when PlayStation 4 did. But you know, then you had the PS4 Pro and the Xbox, like you said, the Xbox One X, You know, those came out a lot more, it seems like. But I know they're all trying to stay on the same pace with releasing the consoles the same time. Which, to me, that's odd because let's say Marvel's releasing a new Avengers movie in Memorial Day, but there's like some huge cop movie that they're wanting to release too. Well, what's everybody going to go see? They're going to go see Avengers. So they end up pushing back the date and releasing it 2 weeks earlier, or they wait a month later because they can't compete with that. Like there were so many, like I'm dating myself, but back in 1997, there were so many great movies that came out when Titanic came out that nobody went and saw because Titanic made so much stinking money.
Yeah, that's true.
And nobody knew anything about those movies because it was just Titanic. And now people don't want to compete with that. But I read somewhere the other day, so Google or whoever copyrights me, don't take offense to this. It said something about PlayStation holds 80% of the pre-orders of consoles right now. Like that's 80% of like, does that mean Xbox is sold out? So are they not making that many, or you know, that's my thing.
I think it's terms of quality, like high definition as well. Just like PlayStation, I've seen like bits and pieces of their new high quality resolution. So it looks almost as real as like you or me.
Well, somebody Xbox said they wish they would re-release Last of Us 2 because, you know, everybody was talking about how great the graphics were on PS4. They can't imagine what it would look like on PS5.
Yeah.
You know, especially with all the, and it's not just PlayStation, you know, when the 8K TVs are coming out with and making 8K compatible consoles. And I mean, when it comes to video games today anyway, I mean, that's their goal. They're trying to make consoles play video games and make them look as realistic as humanly possible.
Well, I remember when the PS2 came out and those football players actually blinked their eyes. I thought that was the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, their eyes blink. I'm so excited.
I mean, like legit, go get a PlayStation 2 and go get a PlayStation game, and the graphics look so crude compared to what we're playing with now.
Well, hey, I've seen the comparisons. Like recently, it's Tom Brady, but I remember saying they did NBA live games from Kobe Bryant from his rookie year back in '98 till his retirement, and did like what his character looked like.
Yeah, it's totally
those
different.
20 years, and it's just like, well, he's like a little figure to now he looks like the actual person on TV.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my kids, they'll sit there and go, are you watching a game or playing a game? You know, because they can't really tell.
Yeah.
You know, and just the advancing technology, and it's Xbox and PlayStation both, how they're just advancing and what they can do with the consoles and the controllers. I mean, we're supposed to have like adaptive triggers on these new controllers that we're going to be getting, you know, that.
Well, even on the PlayStation 3 controller, they got to the point where if you just tap the button, it lobs the ball for a pass. But if you press and hold it, it does a bullet pass. It used to be you just press the button, the ball was going there.
Yeah.
You know, so right now, I mean, obviously, I think right now PlayStation is winning the race, just because the fit everybody's throwing over the pre-orders. You know,
well, yeah,
and you could have it was easy. I mean, I think Randy, we even looked at it. We could have easily pre-ordered a Xbox One.
I had one in my cart.
Yeah, how easy it was to pre-order one of those.
All I had to hit was place order, and I waited 2 hours after the pre-order started, and I found one. The website wasn't crashed, and got on there just fine. Now I went to antonline.com, and because they had Xboxes and PS5s pre-orders Thursday or Wednesday, and that site shut down. Like about 2 minutes before. You couldn't even do anything. So I don't know what happened with that.
I mean, the cheapest one is like the Xbox S, right?
Yes.
Like $300.
Yeah.
$400. It's like the cheapest. I mean,
the PlayStation 5 digital edition is $399, and the disc edition is $599. And of course, you get the bundle. If you get a bundle, it depends on what kind of bundle you get.
I mean, for me, like, I don't know why would you put like the disc version higher than the digital?
Here's why. Because, and I read this, so this is not my opinion. People are having to, now they're paying the $60 for the digital also for the game, but they're paying, well, I say 60, most of the games I'm seeing are $70 now for PS5. But you don't have the device and stuff that would run a disc. So that's money that's taken away from it. Plus the fact that the games storing on the PS5 will lead to people having to spend more money to buy an external hard drive. Which I don't know if you guys saw the stuff, you know, they're saying that the hard drive is going to be like 825 gigabytes or something. And some people have debated if that's going to be like the storage after the software is on there or less than that when the software is on there. But which it kind of disappoints me. I figure like it's going to be 2 terabyte.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Since, you know, like back in the day, you had finding one of those little flash drives that were a gigabyte was end all be all. And now these things hold 128 gigabytes to a terabyte. And, you know, I'm seeing sales like crazy for 2 and 4 terabyte external hard drives, which I have some of those, and I'm just going to use those for mine, you know. But
I was wondering, could you use the, you know, PS4 terabytes into the PS5?
Like the Seagate one?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've heard that there's ways to take your saved data and just swap it over to the PS5. I don't know if you would have to reformat the disc. If you have to reformat the disc, then it wipes it clean. So you might have to load everything onto the PS4, onto your PlayStation Network save drive, and then just re-download it from there, is what I would think.
All right, so kind of moving to the next question, I guess I want to ask, what are you most excited about on the new PS5 and new generation console, like far as gaming? You know, like what's got you most excited?
Well, I'll tell you,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is my top thing right now. I have. Well, I'll answer this part first. I have I saw the screen for the PS5's home screen.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty cool and stuff. Because that was released today, or released this week.
Yeah, I was taking a look at that too. It's gonna be pretty sweet. Yeah, that's the thing about these new generation consoles. I mean, it's a complete overhaul, new look, everything, and I love it. I can't wait to just look at all the features and see it, have it actually in my hands. When it comes in.
Yeah,
and be able to play some of these games that are coming with it. Because Randy, me and you got the same bundle pack, and so we'll be able to play Spider-Man at the same time. We'll be able to play Demon Souls. I've never heard of that game, so that'll be fun to play to me because I like games like that. Especially all the new games that are going to be coming out over the next 2 1 or 2 years. God of War, when that comes out, I think next spring.
Yeah.
That's a must-have for me. I've played all the God of Wars. It's one of my favorite series. The Last of Us 2. When it, I'll get that from you when I get the PS4. When I get the PS5 in.
Sounds good.
Sports games you able to play and what those going to look like. The whole new system, and, operating systems and adaptive controllers. I'm still considering, even though I already have a headset, I'm considering at some point getting that headset that's going to be PS5 headset.
That's for it, yeah.
Yeah, because I kind of wonder if it's better than what I got, but I'm not really sure.
I know it's supposed to be noise canceling and supposed to have some special features that are designed for PS5.
I guess I do have. My headset is PlayStation head. That's good. That's pretty much specifically designed for the PS4, and it was like $105. I do like it. Don't get me wrong. Like I said earlier, with technology, the way they've advanced everything, they make everything compatible. I feel like the sound will be better. Noise cancellation will be better. Fit will be better. It's just like I said, everything's updated. Everything gets overhauled when the new generation console comes out. So I'm very, I know we're all excited to get it in our hands and be able to finally hook it up to our TVs and turn it on for the first time. And that's another thing when we get it, we need to do a podcast before we even turn it on. And
like an unveiling
and do a podcast and turn it on, and even whether it's because I know it'd be hard for you, Randy, because I shipped mine to your house.
Yeah,
you'd have to wait for me to get home so I could hook it up. Or I might have to hook it up and change it. So,
yeah,
I'd be the one that's trying to do it all, be all cool and stuff, and then it falls out of the box and
be able to press the button at the same time, the home button at the same time, and turn it on, and.
Well, I just hope I don't have issues like I did with my PS4 when it came in and there was a rattle to it.
Man, let me tell you, I almost had that feeling the other day when you, except obviously we don't have it yet, but when I looked at my email and it said that it had refunded it, it scared me half to death. I was like, what the heck, I was going to get on the phone with them and just tell them exactly what you did. You better find me another one. Because that was more than I wanted to spend, and I did it because I felt like if I didn't, I wouldn't get one until after the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And so I pulled the trigger on it, and I'm glad I did because it does come with the extra controller. It comes with 2 games, and PlayStation Plus card, which is a big bonus.
Well, we're also, like I told you, I'm going to have to get a new controller anyway. I don't know if it had been at Christmas time or after, but my kids are going to want to play. So I'm going to get a new controller somewhere down the road. And a couple months later, I'm going to have to get a PlayStation Network card to renew that. And I was going to get the Spider-Man game. So all that stuff that came with it, I was going to get, not the other video game, but I was going to get all that stuff anyways. So why not get it now?
Absolutely. Because my PlayStation Plus card won't run out until July, but I mean, like I said, I'll just end up buying a new one anyway. So I already have it.
Yeah.
I've already paid for it, and so in the long run, I think having the bundle was better, for sure.
Like what 2 games did it come with?
It came with a Spider-Man game, Miles Morales.
The launch edition.
Yeah, the launch edition, and it comes with a game called Demon Souls. Now, I read up a little bit on Demon Souls. It's like an open world game, and I think it's like it's not a remake. It's a reboot of it, I guess. Like or enhancement of it. I have to look more into it. I've never played it before, but it seems like a kind of game I would like to play. I think it'd be pretty cool. So I'm definitely going to test it out and probably do some live streams of it.
Like I heard that now PS5 can record voice chat. That should be good.
So they're doing it. They're not allowing it on PS4, I think, but you can be recorded if you're on your PS4. But they're doing it, and you have to get like permission and stuff. But they're doing it so it can help with bullying and stuff. They're not recording just to record. I think you can turn it on. That way, if something came up and you said, "I'm going to report, Ross for bullying," then they'll look into it and be like, "Yep, it was," and I guess they'll take some kind of actions from that. I guess shut down your account or something. I don't know. I hadn't heard any more into it, but that's what the issue is right now. And so they've had to come out with a bunch of new information here recently saying we're not just recording just to record. We're not wanting to know your party's informations. This is all like into the settings and stuff. So which I do like, because nowadays people try to do so many different things with social media. I know about 3 years ago there was that David, I think it was when you were in school, there was some kind of app that was anonymous and you could send like threats and stuff to people, and nobody knew who you were.
I remember that.
Like
I don't remember the app though, but
yeah, you remember what I was talking about. Like it's sad.
Yeah.
And some, and those kind of people need to get caught.
Yeah. Like that whole Momo situation,
Yeah.
That was a dark time for kids.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on from that, and we'll just kind of hit on this topic before we go for the night. So, sports. We have like Nick Saban. This is one thing I was thinking about today. Nick Saban got a positive test Wednesday, and an article came out the day later saying he has to have 3 negative tests before he can step on the field. Well, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, because he wasn't showing symptoms, but Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which is today, he had negative test. So he was able to go on. So they're treating that as a false positive, which this goes into the real world thing, which I'm kind of going to not jump across the fence on, but it makes you think about how many of these positive tests where people show no symptoms, or they have a runny nose or just a headache that day. How many of those are not false positives? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm going to lay off that right now because I want us to have more than one podcast where people listen to. But but just overall, like with sports, I think basketball, having the bubble, which it's easier for them to do it, but having the bubble, they were so successful with carrying on a season.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much you guys kept up with it, but they had no cases. They were able to bring some family members in for some games, but like I said, they only had so many teams in the ESPN complex down there at Disney. They could play all their games in those different arenas because that's where some of those high school basketball teams go and play those spring break tournaments and Thanksgiving tournaments and stuff. So, but there's nothing like that where there's a bunch of football fields, and in one spot or one town. There's not a place where there's a bunch of Major League Baseball fields in one town,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not really a bubble unless you just say, you guys have to stay here in the team facilities. Like college, I think college, what they could do is they could make a dorm just for athletics.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to and said, your classes are online unless you have to be in class. You go to practice and leave practice. But
yeah. Well, but even college football right now seems to be pretty successful.
Well, it is when the Pac-12 and the Big Ten and all them are like, oh, we made a mistake. Let's play.
And where in week 4 going into now.
Yeah.
And SEC doesn't seem to have any problems, and whatever conference Clemson is in.
Oh, the ACC.
ACC. I was thinking, ACC conference. They don't seem to have any problems. The Sun Belt, I know the Red Bulls have ended up rescheduling a game, but they ended up, but they played today, and so they don't seem to be having a whole lot of problems. So it does and you're talking about people who are getting hot and sweaty and like tackling each other.
Yeah.
And so is it really as bad? I don't know. But I'm glad we're getting to watch college football. That would have sucked not getting to watch college football. The SEC, man, it's talking about the SEC. It's kind of wild right now. The teams that are beating each other and giving each other a run for their money because they're like, oh man.
Well, here's my thing. I'm going to say this real quick. So you have LSU, reigning champs. Okay, Ross, let me ask you your opinion. If LeBron James retired right now and Anthony Davis decided, I want to sign with the Denver Nuggets, that's two of the best players on the Lakers team, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the Lakers lose the first 3 games of the season, people are going to say, titles on newspapers are going to say, are the defending champs in trouble? Which, as a team, the Lakers are the defending champs. But technically, are they really? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like LSU lost Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Jefferson at receiver. The running back, can't think of his name, going to Kansas City. You lost some top offensive weapons and defensive weapons. And yes, they're LSU. They have a good recruiting class, so you're going to rank them high. I got it. But the thing is, they're not the LSU that you know of.
Yeah.
And then Mississippi State. Anybody knows it's like a 3-point shooting team. You're going to live by the 3, you're going to die by the 3. And Ross, you know that better than anybody.
Golden State.
Anybody can know if I drop back everybody in pass coverage and just let them run the ball for 5 yards, then we're going to stop them passing. Mississippi State went out there, put up 600 passing yards against LSU. LSU's not that good. Like, obviously you can see it. They're 1-2.
Yeah.
Then Arkansas beats them, but then they only get 2 points against Kentucky. Now, Kentucky went out and dominated Tennessee today. I don't think Kentucky's that good. Tennessee needs a quarterback. But that quarterback's been benched. And then Mississippi State goes and loses again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my personal opinion, like Arkansas, is Arkansas better? Heck yes. But I feel like I also feel like Auburn, Mississippi State, teams like that, since Arkansas has been horrible for so long, I really feel like people were already looking to the next game. You know, like what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're the lowest of the low. They've lost 20 games in a row. They can't beat us. Let's prepare for Auburn. We're just going to throw the ball. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. They can't stop the run. They can't do this. Oh, their special teams are horrible. We're just going to look for next week. And then Arkansas is catching people by surprise. They're winning, staying in the games. You know, but they are better. I'm not going to say they're not because they've got a decent quarterback. You know, Traylon Burks, he was hurt a couple weeks ago, and I was thinking, great, he's fixing to be hurt again, not just like his senior year of high school. But I feel like
Grant Morgan, Bumper Pool. Even Bumper Pool was out today. You know, they still stepped up. You know, Clark Hudson, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Look at him. I mean, that guy was a backup, and he got in there and stepped up today. I mean, that on in itself ought to show improvement. I mean, you cannot say that Arkansas is not improved. You know, I'll read Twitter like, "Oh, is Arkansas really that good, or are they you know, that team just that bad?" Like, you guys, like, it's like, y'all think that Arkansas is going to stay that way forever? You know, they are an SEC school. There have been times in the past 20 years that they've been highly ranked. When they had in the McFadden, Felix Jones era, they've got up to like number 5 and number 3.
Yeah.
They had some bad years, but they also had some bad coaching. Or I don't want to say, bad coaching, but coaches that just didn't fit in the program. You know, I think Chad Morris, as bad as his 2 years been, he just didn't fit. His play style did not fit Arkansas. Right? I mean, he was at Clemson. Florida State. He was the offensive coordinator for a championship team, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, so obviously he's not terrible. It's just that his play style, the way he chose to coach, just didn't fit with Arkansas, and it cost us to lose the way we did. And now we have a coach and a coaching staff like Barry Odom obviously does his homework, and he has done something with that defense because that defense is rock solid right now. Not, are they the greatest defense ever? No. There's still some holes, but they're stepping up. They're tackling better. They're making interceptions. They picked the ball 6 times today.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss went toe-to-toe with Alabama. But everybody expects the Alabama to be a national champion, win a national championship every stinking year.
Yep. That's like Duke and Kentucky and stuff in basketball,
There's going to be, I remember a time when Alabama wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And then they stepped up, and what's going to happen one of these days when Nick Saban retires or decides I want to go somewhere else? I don't think he'll ever go anywhere else. I think he'll retire at Alabama, but
yeah, me too.
Even if he did. So what happens to their recruiting? What happens to all those kids who said, "Well, I wanted to play for Nick Saban, now I don't want to get to, so I'm going to go somewhere else."
Yep.
So I mean, and it's not all dependent on coaching. It's about the atmosphere too. Arkansas's fan base. I mean, they're fun. It's like Tennessee. You walk into Rocky Top, Tennessee, and it's electrifying. We've been there. We've been in that stadium. It's electrifying. It's a team you want to play for because of the atmosphere that they present. And that's, of course, that's not all. It's everything together. And but I said, Arkansas improved. They need to get better. Their offense has got to start doing better because 14 of the points today came from the defense. So that I'd tell you something, that Arkansas's offense is not going to cut it. They're going to have to get better.
Yeah. Ross, are you keeping up with any NFL right now?
No, not really. I don't really watch much NFL. I know the teams that are sucking. Dallas, pretty much. Denver sucking it up.
ATL.
How are you going to sit here and go all gangster and say OTL? Like Atlanta, dude.
All right, my bad.
Now,
I lost money on that game.
What about the Washington
Cowboys.
team? What about the Washington football team?
Have they still not come up with a name for them?
That is their name.
The Washington team.
Washington football team.
That's terrible.
Awful.
Guys, come on now.
I mean, I don't know.
I'll call them the Olivias. The Washington Olivia.
No.
Can't get much worse than that, right?
How's Brady doing down there in Tampa Bay?
Well, the 3-2, he's okay. He's got good receivers. I don't think Fournette worked out like they thought he would, which is crazy to me. How running backs can rush for 1,000 yards and then they get traded or something. And they go to another team and they just can't do anything. Like Le'Veon Bell, for example. He's hot topic this week. Le'Veon Bell holds out because he wants more money for the Steelers to quit being franchise tagging. He goes to the Jets. He's horrible. Now they cut him. You know?
My question is why Kansas City signed him? That's my question. Why?
Well, it's just like, why did the Browns sign Kareem Hunt? You got Nick Chubb. You know, which, hey, it works for them. But I was telling, both y'all know I do fantasy football.
Yeah.
And we used to, well, we still do. We have 3 spots for running backs because there were so many running backs that did something. But now they've went even further. They have a running back committee where a lot of teams they're switching backs with a tempo pace, but they're also bringing in third down and passing down. Like the 49ers, if they're all healthy, you have Mostert, you have McKinnon, and last year they had Matt Breida, which he's in Miami, but they have Tevin Coleman. So you have like guys that are only for certain things. And so right now it's not even worth having 3 running backs on your team because it's like the tight end position. After Kittle and Travis Kelce, the rest of them are kind of average, if not don't exist.
Yeah.
So it's
like Witten. Witten's a good tight end. Greg Olson's a great tight end, but
But I don't know. But like I said, going with you, what you were talking about, Ross. Whoa! Can y'all hear that?
No.
Hear what?
Oh, okay. I clicked on something because I was trying to look up the stats, and all of a sudden, music started playing loudly in my ear. I wasn't ready for that. But I don't know. I was trying to look up stats, but I'm not going to do that again because it kind of scared me. But anywho,
my thing is, why can't people in the NFL be, healthy? Like, the whole COVID situation, there's teams being their schedules being pushed back because of positive results. I mean, the NBA did well with the bubble. And then college is doing well, right? With no physical COVID test positives.
And
the NFL has just kind of been bad.
Here's what we've talked about at school with just like things in general, with schools having it. Like, do I agree with the mask? No. Do I want to wear my mask? No. But for me to have a volleyball season this year, I did what I had to do. I told my girls what they had to do. Now, what they do in their personal time, that's on them. But, I wear my mask because I might carry the thing, but if I breathe on somebody, I might give it to them and I might not ever have a symptom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some people, like, I know where my family goes. This is another way to look at it. I know where my kids go. I know where my wife goes. But, like, if I see you, David, I don't know really where you go on a daily basis. But I'm comfortable talking to you. So I'm going to come and shake your hand, give you a hug or whatever. With no mask on. Now I've got COVID because I'm comfortable with you. Because some people are going to say, oh, I always wear mine around a stranger. But would you go and hug a stranger? You know what I mean? So you've got to think about like our friends. I know what they do. I know where they go. So through this whole deal, we've always hung out with them and we don't wear the mask because we know what they do, but like honestly, Ross, you're family, but I don't know what you do on a daily basis or how you take care of yourself. So in all honesty, I feel like if you're going to go by those rules, then when I see you again, I should wear my mask around you. You know what I mean? If that's how it's got to be. But then you say, well, it's family. Well, yeah, but what do you mean by family? And so that's where it kind of where you get into.
You mean you talk about like Thanksgiving's coming up. Our family's already not doing Thanksgiving this year at Aunt Barbara and Uncle David's house because, for one, we don't see them but a couple times a year. Marty and Erica and their kids, they live in Illinois. Uncle David. We've got a lot of older people in our family. But Uncle David, his health has declined, and so he's more susceptible to it. I get maybe, but he's also more at risk because of his pre-existing conditions already. So I can completely understand it. And so even with me, like you say, we are family, but we only see each other a few times every month, a couple months maybe. You don't know what I do every day, and especially the people I'm around. Good gosh, some of the nastiest people. I might have it right now and don't even know it, and might not ever know it. I might be asymptomatic, and then but I know on my end, I wouldn't let that stop y'all from coming up here.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a fear factor.
It is, it just affects people differently. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, it's hard to explain. Like, I've had people tell me it sucks, it's the worst thing ever, but I've had people tell me like it's really not that bad. So it's regarding like pro sports and everything. I mean, to ask somebody to stay away from their family for an extended period of time just so they can play football, that's a hard thing to do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, 100 days in the bubble with NBA players, man, that must have been tough.
Because regardless of whether you want to think there's not, I mean, some of these guys have made millions upon millions of dollars. But then there's some of these guys who are struggling are making the league minimum, which I don't know what it is now, but I think what used to be like $250,000 a year, something like that nature. And let's be real, if you don't perform, you get cut.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these guys are not going to play but a few seasons. So that means afterwards, they're gonna have to go find regular day jobs. They're gonna have to find jobs. 2 seasons of pro football at $250,000 a year ain't gonna cover it for the rest of your life. And so for those guys, it's like, man, is it really worth it to stay away from my family? When I know that I'm only gonna play maybe 1 or 2 seasons, and I'm probably gonna get cut, or I'll probably quit, or something. That's tough, man. That's like.
But wouldn't that motivate you to work even harder?
Well,
like if you really think about it, like if in the back of your head you're like, oh, I'm only gonna play 1 or 2 seasons, then I feel like I'm gonna get cut. Well, now I gotta outwork everybody else that's trying to outwork me to make sure that I secure my future with this team, as well as make better living choices, better decisions, manage my money a better way so that my family can live on, after.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and I was about to get to that too, because you got to think about this one. I think you got to think about that too. You know, for these guys, you know, they're not Tom Brady, they're not Peyton Manning's, they're not Baker Mayfield's, they're not you name your quarterback. They're not Patrick Mahomes, you know, who gets a $500 million contract, you know, with a guaranteed, I think, $165 million, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and look at it, but
was it like 8 years, 10 years?
If for them, I mean, like for those guys like Patrick Mahomes, like it doesn't matter what he does, he's set for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, you know, he could quit tomorrow and take his paycheck, $165 million, go home and live comfortably for the rest of his life. But you got those guys who are on the practice squads or on the, you know, third string, riding the bench, making the league minimum, and for them, that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
That's their job. That's how they support their family. You know, so you don't, once the job is done, once you don't play football anymore, you ain't got no money. You ain't like, you know, that's like for me, like if I ever like I don't understand like going to troop school, you know. So like these guys like quit their jobs to go to troop school, but and then bow out. And it's like for me, like if you told me today, right now, you said, Ross, better suit up because you're going to troop school on Monday or on Sunday, and you're quitting your job. Like if I don't complete it, my wife, I'm hanging my wife out to dry. I'm hanging my family out to dry because I don't have money. I don't have a job. You know. So yeah, but it's still hard though, because if you tell those guys, hey man, like you can't see your family for 6 months. That's tough. That's tough stuff, man. Especially when you're not being forced to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
It would be.
Yeah, it would.
Like with the NBA, with the bubble that they had, like they were able to bring their family in. You know, that's a definite motivating factor. But you know, football teams are a lot bigger than basketball teams.
Oh yeah.
You know,
there's 60 to 80 different people. Where basketball, you have 12 or 15.
So that's a lot more manageable than a football team, and you know, and some of those guys, man, family's everything. That's priority. They would much rather go drive a forklift, and have a steady income than staying on the side of a football field and not be able to see their wife and kids.
Yeah, a lot of them opt out of their contract before the season started. Like, you see a lot of them, they're like, nah, I don't want to play this year. You know, my family's important, health, and due to the whole COVID situation. And a lot of them have other side jobs, like working for like emergency rooms, fire departments, policing. So like, other than just football, they have outside jobs, even though they don't need to, but it's about giving back.
There's also college players that decided to step out and not play this year.
I mean,
and that's probably, and it could be because they got somebody in their family that is more at risk to, you know, for battling COVID. And it's like, you know, if I catch it and I take it home and I get them, I mean, what's going to happen to them? You know, I would just don't take that risk. And the football is a game, but it's also a business.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
any professional sport is.
You know, it's like the owners, the board, you know, the chairman, you know, the board, and all those people. You know, it's the same with any business. Like, we can't pay if you don't work. You know, we're not going to pay you to sit at home. You know, you don't have it. So a lot of decisions. I'm sure it was a lot of tough decisions for a lot of big players. And then you had those players who were probably like, yeah, go on home, bro. I ain't got nobody. I'll stick it out here. you know, because that's all they've ever wanted. And then they had a family that told them, "Don't worry about us. We'll be all right. You know, you just go live your dream."
I don't know.
It's honestly amazing how much coronavirus has changed the landscape of just professional college and professional sports of the whole of the world, really. But you know, but I mean, I just like I said, I think the Lord that we're still getting to watch it, still getting to enjoy it because you know, like well, we got video games. I mean, you know, we all got PlayStation 4s. You know, we movies and entertainment. You know, a lot of people don't like that. That's what they live for. They live for sports. That's what they look forward to all year round. You know.
Yeah.
And take that away from them. What do they got?
Pretty much nothing.
Not much.
You know. Or these kids, like that's going to be their way out. You know, these kids are living in the inner cities but working their tails off for their grades and football, hoping they're going to get that scholarship to be able to get out of that situation that they're in. And it's like, well, you can't play football because coronavirus, and now they're stuck. You know,
yeah,
it's a sad deal. But so that's why I am glad that, you know, football, baseball, basketball continued on. You know, gives people like what we're doing right now, what we do with our podcast, or do with our COD games. You know, we try to give people something to take their mind off what's going on in the world.
Exactly. Well, guys, I think we were going to stop there.
All right.
I think it was a lot longer than I thought it was. I figured like we weren't going to talk that much because we didn't know what to talk about, but just like when we're playing the video games, we kind of go off one topic and go to another. So I thought it was fairly good.
Yeah, for a first one. Hopefully, maybe next time we'll get some more people in. Has Luke ever say anything about joining in?
He might. Thought about having a celebrity guest next week or something.
See if The Rock wants to join in.
Yeah. I can go ahead and pull those strings. Like I'm already
sending an email saying, "Hey man, we're gonna be on the podcast."
Well, both of y'all already get to talk to a Hall of Famer like me, so
True.
can't really go any higher than that. And we can add that story for a podcast later. But.
I mean, you're a Hall of Famer in fantasy sports. That's different.
Hey, that's still pretty sweet.
I have a bust and a jacket, and I was treated like VIP. So,
true.
True.
Very true.
So, all right, guys. Well, for anybody that ends up listening to this, hope you enjoyed it. Please provide any feedback, whether you comment on our websites. You can follow me at Twitter and Instagram at TAGaming 2020, and on YouTube, just look for Titan Avenger Gaming. And we have Law Dog Avenger Gaming. You want to give any of your information?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, stream to YouTube and Twitch. Got a new Twitch, but I haven't been quite using that as much. Haven't really been live streaming a whole lot. Didn't play this much this week at all. That's fine. But hopefully, we're gonna get back to it strong here pretty soon.
Yep.
So Facebook, Law Dog Avenger Gaming, YouTube, Law Dog Avenger Gaming, and Twitch, Law Dog Avenger Gaming. So,
Darth Maul, what about you?
Me? Oh, man, just YouTube and Facebook.
Gotcha.
It's all the same. I am Darth Maul. And Instagram, I am Darth Maul Gaming 20 YT.
All right. Everybody, keep looking forward to that. And we're out.
Looking forward to the next podcast.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Good talking to you.
You too.
All right. You too.